Hello, my name is Kristina Castronovo. I'm NeuroGraphica Instructor and aesthetic coach. And today I'm going to present you one NeuroGraphica model called St. George in the framework of a LadyLeader project. This algorithm, this model, I suggest to you to use as a problem-solving tool. Here is one example of an icon dedicated to St. George. He has different names in different countries, but this is a saint known in all possible countries of the world. And this is one of the classic examples how the icon looks. And basically here are some main elements that we're interested in. Here is the dragon or the evil. Here is the St. George, so the fighter, the hero. And here is also the horse, which is usually drawn as a white horse. And the saint is killing the dragon. So basically solving the problem and finding the solution. The legend says that famous St. George has killed the dragon to conquer, to help, to save the princess. In our case, the dragon can be any evil, any problem, any conflict, any pain, any bad situation that you have. So you can think about it and start drawing with a problem. While you're drawing, you really have to pronounce all the things that you keep in your mind as a part of this problem. So you're drawing something strange and mixed like this. It can be in any shape in the end. And while you're drawing, you're actually pronouncing. I feel like this, there are a lot of things inside, and I'm irritated by this and this, and I hate this and this. So all the small things just mention inside. Breathe out. Here is your dragon. This is how it looks. Meet your dragon. Try also to describe what do you see? How does your dragon look like? Sometimes when people draw the dragon, as you see, it doesn't look as a dragon, but the symbolic shape. And when they put it in the paper and they start to describe, they find out quite unusual words as descriptions. For example, oh, my dragon is fluffy. Or, yeah, my dragon is serious. Or, oh, this dragon is very unexpected. Or it's curious, or it's funny. Whatever you see, and what are the words that come to your mind to describe what you see. Please also write either inside or close to this shape the keywords that you pronounced, not the keywords that you rationally think are correct to describe your problem, but the keywords that actually sounded while you were pronouncing them while drawing. Yeah, so there can be keyword A, B, C, D, E, F, G, for example. Okay. Then you start to draw St. George, which is actually you. You are the fighter. You are the one who rides the horse. You are the one who's going to kill the dragon. So put some vertical shape in this part of the paper. And inside, draw some characteristics and write them, sign them with some keywords, the positive characteristics that you possess to be able to kill the dragon. So this can be some of your talent, some of your experience, some of your strong sides, different things that you have, that you are, that make you, you. The next element is the horse. It is in between you and the problem. Believe me, every time, despite the very clear order, where do you draw what, the shapes become very different. Sometimes the horse is huge. Sometimes the horse is squeezed in between St. George and the dragon. So it will be very special depending on your topic. So you draw the horse, and the horse is the mediator, the helper, or the helpers that are in this problem, in this situation. These can be real people who are anyhow involved in the situation. So you can name them. You can actually write names. Name 1, name 2. Or this can be groups of people who are anyhow involved. This can also be somebody who you think might be there, but you're not sure. Unknown people, unexpected help, unexpected groups of people who could help you. So these are real people who are already aware in your situation, but this can also be whom you suddenly remembered, and so far you don't actually know how exactly this or that person could influence and could help, but who knows? So I don't know, maybe the problem is about work, but suddenly you could remember about your kid, about your neighbors and whatever. So also some unexpected people who might potentially help in this conflict, even though maybe it's not a very rational description and explanation how and why. So unexpected people for potential helpers, Mm-hmm. Here in the horse, you can also write in some non-alive tools. I don't know, this can be social media, for example, yeah, or just your computer, for example. So some helpers that are, let's say, touchable, but are not alive are also here as the horse. These are your help. Now we have basically the structure, the composition of the drawing, the 3 main elements. So now I would like to ask you to explore, to analyze, what do you see from your visual observation? How does it look like? Compare the shapes, the forms of the dragon, St. George, or you, and the horse. Who is the biggest one in your case? Who is the smallest one? Who is the prettiest one and the ugliest one? Do you maybe recognize any shapes that seem familiar to you? For example, if you look at the horse, maybe you suddenly say, oh, it looks like a frog or like a foot or whatever else. Try also to analyze the distance in between the shapes. How close you are with the horse. In my case, for example, they are very close to each other, but not connected. And how close or far You yourself and together with the horse are from the dragon. Here, as you see, it's a huge distance. It's like a break in between them. And it's really far from me to my dragon. So I'm not touching it directly. Believe me, in some situations, people draw the horse in a very different way. And the knight is actually having direct contact with the dragon, yeah, and the horse is like squeezed around. This is also possible. So explore, observe what is going on in your picture. What do you see? What do you recognize? And how does it feel? Now, please draw in some more lines so that the whole thing is connected. And see how does it feel to start to touch your dragon? Are you afraid or not? Are you brave enough? And how does it feel to finally put it in one system? So to have the connection in between all the involved elements. Now, when you have some lines, you don't need to explore every single detail, but for sure you can see some clear connections. And I would like to ask you to explore exactly those ones that are very remarkable, that you clearly see, you know, from the distance. So for example, if I look at this line, which is one of the central ones, I see that on the same line, I have the circle of experience and something else that I don't remember now anymore. And here are some particular groups of people and touched social media. And it goes to the part of the problem called F. Yeah. Here instead, I see that my talents go through some particular names and something unknown or somebody unknown. And they also come to B and to F. So see if you have some interconnections and try to analyze if it makes sense. Does your conscious, subconscious try to tell you some insights about things that are actually connected or could be connected? So mark this. Then we go to the next point, which is rounding. And how do we round? As usually, whenever two lines are meeting and crossing, making a cross, so we round them so that there is no anymore any sharp corner. So please do this. Round, round, and get used to your situation, to your dragon. Explore, observe. Where did you start? With which element? See, for me, clearly I started with the horse. So this shows my readiness to explore the problem, or maybe to look for the solution of the problem through the horse, through the mediators, not starting from myself, not starting from the dragon itself, but with the mediators, with the helpers. How is it in your case? Okay. See also which exactly parts of these elements you touch as the first ones. How does it respond in you, in your body? Get used and observe. And as usually during the rounding part of the NeuroGraphica drawing, I'm asking you to observe, to scan yourself by 4 points of attention. The first one is always thoughts. Thoughts. So something that your mind creates, the topics you think about, and the sentences, the phrases that your mind creates. Okay, so what do you think about? Every phrase, every quotation makes sense. Even if you think it is about the drawing, for example, you can say, yes, I have some black lines. Just repeat it once again and try to stick it now, the same phrase, to stick it now to your topic, to your problem. And what if you say the same sentence, not about the drawing, but about your problem? What does it mean? So, for example, oh yes, I have some black lines. Who are these black lines? Or what are these black lines? Or what does it mean black? Or what does it mean lines? Or if you suddenly think about some random topic and you think it's random, for example, you think about Christmas or any holiday, so how is it connected to your topic actually? What could mean Christmas or holidays in your situation, in your problem? So every flow, every word is useful. So try to catch it. Or feel that it is some kind of meditation when you're here with yourself. Observe. The second point of attention is called emotions or feelings. So please don't say that I feel good or bad, or I don't feel anything. Try to name a particular emotion. Are you happy, sad, angry, annoyed, feel guilty, ashamed? What are the emotions that come to your mind? How do you actually feel? And if it comes to you, ask yourself, when do I usually feel like this? What kind of situation do I imagine for this emotion? What is typical for me? And now try to make a reflection, make a parallel between that situation when you usually feel like that and your problem. What does it mean? What sense does it make? What these emotions mean for this particular topic? Why do they appear there? I clearly see that in my case, I still don't touch the dragon. I kind of avoid it. It's very interesting to observe. Without any pressure, just be there, round, and observe yourself. Third point of attention is called sensations, body sensations. Body sensations. So what happens in your body when you touch the dragon, when you touch the horse, when you touch the dragon? touch some particular parts of it. So, for example, when you round your talons here, how does your body react? Does it become hotter, colder? Any hand shaking? Any sweating? Any hunger maybe? Or being sleepy? What happens to you? Observe also where it happens, in which part of the body. And whenever you notice this, again, try to meditate on this part of the body. If you have a very bright sensation, so live it through this sensation and ask yourself when my body felt similarly. If you want, you can count also from 1 to 10, and you end up in some particular situation that your body remembers with similar sensations. Observe this situation, where you are, who is close to you, what happens to you there, what do you notice around. Symbolically, how is it connected to your problem, to your situation that you are drawing? Explore. If you were counting, after deep exploring, count back so that you also come back to reality and don't stay there. Compare if your body feels differently depending on what you are rounding, where you are in your drawing. So what are your reactions? And what does your body try to tell you about this topic? And the first point of attention is called visions. It is not about hallucinations. Visions are also our thoughts, but they are in a visual way. So these can be our memories that we remember as pictures, as photographs, for example. But it can also be our future visions when we visualize or dream about something in a visual way. And these can be symbolic visions when we just randomly, metaphorically imagine something and it has a symbolic meaning for our topic. It's very interesting to work exactly with visions and to try to develop them. So if you see some kind of picture in front of you, you imagine that you see, and for example, I see a bicycle. So try to ask yourself about more details around, what kind of bicycle it is? Where am I at this picture? Am I on the bicycle? Am I running after the bicycle? Yeah. How do I feel there? Who is close to me there? What do I see around? What is going on? Where is it? When is it? Is it about my future? If it is future, ask yourself, in how many years could it be, or how many weeks or days, whatever? Try to see yourself from a side. Observe and describe, how do you look? How are you dressed, for example? Do you have another hairstyle? So what has changed compared to you in presence? So when could it be, if you think about this new look of you? Yeah? Could it happen in your life? Describe the people or the things around you in this vision. Ask as many questions as possible so that you develop your vision and you build your visualization. You explore it deeply and precisely. It helps a lot. If it's something positive, leave it through so that you absorb the positive emotions or sensations as well, so that also your body and your mind gets used to something that you prepare yourself for in the future, for example. So we're done with the rounding part. And with the additional lines, you can also add some lines in the background so that the whole element, whole shape is not just hanging in the air, it is connected. Okay. Then we do the archetyping, the colors. So we take either colored markers or colored pencils, and we add some colors to our drawing. The most important principle of coloring is to combine, to join at least two cells that are close to each other with the same color. So to unite, not to separate, but to unite. This can be also more cells than just two, but at least two. It is not compulsory to color absolutely everything and make a colorful carpet, but make it balanced and harmonized. Explore, where do you start to color? From which shape, from which element? Is it the dragon or the horse or the knight? Yes, exactly here. Seems that the dragon is just one big ball of rain or of something mixed up. Yeah? Yes, but it doesn't have to be like this. It can be differently as well. Every drawing is unique. So add some color, not compulsory everywhere, but to have a feeling that it is colored and harmonized. Also during the coloring part, continue to scan yourself by 4 points of attention. As you see, the model is inspired by the model of St. George, by the famous icon, but it has nothing to do with religion or prayer, just has similar elements and the symbolic story of the legend. You can also add some colors in the background, in the font. It can be a bit lighter if you wish so. So that's where we're done with our coloring. Then the next element is actually the most important element in the whole model of St. George. So normally in NeuroGraphica algorithm, the next step is called the field lines. And here in this particular model, the field line is 1, and it is this arrow, this arrow with which the dragon is killed. So we put all the effort, all the bad energy, hate, whatever you have about this problem, and we draw the huge arrow from the knight towards the dragon. In the end, we also mark it with this shape as the real arrow. Explore what are the elements that are touching your arrow. So for example, here it was my group of people and social media, experience, here something this, and which part of dragon it actually killed. So the arrow or the field line is showing you the direction in which you should think to solve your problem. So not to grab all possible small things around, but what is the main direction? And the last element of the model is called fixation. And I kindly ask you to close your eyes and somewhere in your model to draw a circle without looking. Then you can open your eyes and make the circle a bit more harmonized, integrated. So round it a bit as well. And fixation is the solution for here and now in your problem. So these are the things you should make maximum attention to right now. So the fixation is the solution for here and now, and you can explore what are the parts that are exactly there inside. So this is the advice from your subconscious part, where to put the maximum attention right now. This is all. The model is ready drawn. And explore how to feel when the dragon is killed. So I wish you to kill all your dragons and to feel as winners. Good luck. This was the St. George model.